up, y'all? It's your girl, Kishana, and we are back for another episode of A Kish, Goodnight. Listen, friends, I don't know if you've noticed over the last few months, you've noticed that your girl here has started to soften up. I was a tough cookie, if you will, a little firm. I was not soft. Like Insomniac cookies, though, because those are real soft. They're real good.
Those are
good.
I think they're undercooked.
Are you
but
sure?
Because it's so late at night, you don't notice.
Late in the midnight hour.
But they don't have enough. They're gluten-free, don't hit. Yeah, God's going to bake you some cookies and
that's
turn it
it.
around.
God's going to turn it around in your belly. I don't do the gluten-free. That's you. You just that's separation.
Don't look, I just really don't want you to shame me for my food aversion.
Listen, y'all.
Hey, leave the parabens in my cookies.
That's fine. That's fine. All of y'all with the food allergies and the incontinence and all the things. Wait a minute. We're not talking that. We're too young for that. But if AARP would please come or Depends and be a sponsor. I'm just saying. But that's not today. That's for a different episode when Mama Dawn is on. Don't tell her I said that. Today, I have on the one and only Dre Brown, who is my good friend.
Judy.
Good Judy. Listen, I brought you on today because there's something I've been struggling with and I need you to help me. I was told the other day.
With, friend?
This no. I think so. I might have the IBS. I don't know, but that's another. This is deeper.
We'll come back.
We're gonna come back to that
because we're gonna get in the kitchen with Mama.
That's it. So, a gentleman caller told me the other day that he felt like I was a tough cookie, literally, and I just feel like I'm gonna need some support on being a softer cookie. I would like to be a brownie, preferably one infused with THC, TCH, or CBD, CBD. Sneak up on you. Also rich and delicious. So I figured I would talk to you about that because I feel like you know a thing or two.
Make you forget your whole afternoon.
That's it. I do want to be yes, I will make you forget your whole afternoon.
Go to Target and buy a whole bunch of stuff you don't need.
I can make you put your phone down. Erica Badu said that. Okay, hey.
I love that. That's one of my favorite.
Come on. I can make you put your phone down. So today's topic is submission or soft life. Is it an either or situation? We're going to get into this, and I want to just start with this idea about eating. Whose plate are you fixing first, and why?
Well, can we go back to, I know that your title is alliterative and it rolls off the tongue so beautifully. Thank you, Howard University, for that journalism
degree. Come
on,
look, you see how she propped that up?
Submission or soft life. I get the S's, I get it. But semantics is a big thing for me.
Yes, talk to me.
And so I do not subscribe to the word submissive or submission. What are we doing? Entering a sweepstakes or some shit? I'm like, I don't really. So where I kind of wrap my head around that is like, it can't be either or, because I believe that submission means like you're giving in and leaving something behind, and I don't subscribe to that.
Ooh, you gonna make some folk upset on today.
I don't know. I know that it comes I know it has a lot of steeping and like biblical and like doctrine and like
biblical
traditional,
light.
biblical adjacent.
Because the men folk only know Jesus wept. That's the only verse that they really know.
You find a woman, you find a good thing, and they don't even know what chapter it is. I don't know. But
wait a minute.
So the semantics of that sometimes sits on me a little bit, but we can talk about that later.
No, we're gonna talk about it.
We had to cook out. Who's making a plate? I will tell you this. I'm a sister who likes to eat. So I know how to make 2 plates at once.
Hello. Come on, balance.
I was a waitress. My first job, I worked at a bingo hall.
Yes.
I was 14 years old, carrying tuna sandwiches to women with rolls of money that would give me nickels and dimes as tips. And I'm like, sis, I just brought you okay, never mind. I'm not bitter. But if we at the cookout, because I know that I've told you that, I am definitely alpha in a lot of ways, and I love that. But I still will make my man's plate. I'm just making it at the same time I'm making my own.
That's it.
I'm not going to go over there and be like, baby, you good? Can I eat now, daddy? No. I'll be like, look, stop acting like you don't like baked beans. I saw you eat them last time. I put them on the side. I didn't have them touch the potato salad. I know what you like. Eat your food.
That's it.
That's it.
And if I'm making a plate, though, don't be asking me for the little specialties.
Don't be giving me no love.
You're going to get it.
It's going to be cute, and it's going to be just as well made as I would make my own.
Ooh, I love it.
because if I ask you to make it, you're going to be over there talking about the game with somebody, and I'm hungry.
So you like, this is a matter of efficiency and expediency.
Efficiency, and the fact is, while I'm getting the plates, go make me a drink.
That's true.
Thank you. You're not just sitting in the lawn chair letting your feet get, rubbing it in the grass. Like, it's a,
But I have a question, though.
No, right? Go ahead.
And it then comes with the juxtaposition of, I want to and I have a desire to do it versus an obligation. Because if I feel obligated to fix your plate is different than I actually want to be of service in that moment.
I agree with you. Like, there are a lot of things that I want to do for my partner, for my man, that really do not make me feel smaller. I am not I'm 5'2", but nothing about my presence, my energy, my existence is small.
Right.
So to shrink this, you're going to need a lot more than me. Just
they're going to need shrink wrap, bubble wrap, bubble tape,
you're going to need
tape.
lipo, everything to shrink.
I don't think submission means to small up yourself either, right?
Right, I don't think it does. But
some interpretations, I fear that's what people see.
Yeah.
And I really just think, like, if you've ever come, any friends out there, if you've ever come to my home, I was raised in the South. You take care of people when they come in your home. Like, right. I don't even let my friends make their plates when they come to my house. But if you are my life partner, and there's something about wanting to do something that I enjoy. I want your plate to be pretty. I want you to be fed. I know what you like to eat. And like I said, if I'm doing it already for myself, it does not put me in an imposition. And I definitely don't do it because Daddy said so.
Lord.
So
wait a minute.
It's more of like, it's just like if I'm washing clothes, give me them white
Give me the clothes. Like, I just wash the laundry.
And it's not because I'm June Cleaver and I'm in the kitchen trying to get my man swats really wide. Like, whatever. Like, that's not
somebody somewhere is looking at you.
What? That's what
they're going to have to look.
You're supposed to be watching a Kish Goodnight. So
that's looking. It. Keep looking. Wait a minute. But did you always feel this way?
I can't remember when I didn't. I don't want to say, I'm not an almanac of my beliefs. They do change, but I would say I've never had a problem with it.
Yeah.
And but I've also always liked a certain type of man.
Talk to me about that. Describe him for me.
I've always liked men who, because I've always had my own thing. I've always run businesses. I've always had a big life where I say I'm a joyful risk taker. I don't wait for somebody else to jump out of a window and do something new.
That's right.
But what that comes with a lot of responsibility out there in the world. So sometimes when I have a partner, oftentimes when I come home, I don't want that. I would much rather have someone that's like wants to cater to me in a way where you're out there bossing out in the whole world. You don't have to be the boss all the time. You can take your shoes off, relax, and resign. And that to me is a place that makes me want to then return that care and doting to my partner. Like, as some people know, I've done makeup for a long time, and I had a boyfriend that watched me intently, because when you get home from that shoot, you are exhausted, and he would watch me because I am meticulous about cleaning my brushes, and he would watch me to see how I cleaned my brushes so that he can take my bag from me at the door and be there for 3 hours longer than I have, because he
was like, and I know she put the weight and the hold on and the
but it wasn't. But that's to me the same level of care of saying like
acts of service.
Yes, and that's really where it comes to with the whole plate making thing. And and I never saw it as like something that took away from my ability to be the full, bold, robust woman that I am.
Yeah. So one of the things I had on my mind was a curious question was like, when did you learn how to take care of a man? But I don't know if I want to go there. I want to know, would you be more or less attracted to a man if he did not want to be taken care of?
I don't think I would be less attracted. I would want to know what care looks like to him.
So you want to do the probing questions.
Yeah, I don't think that. I think everyone wants to be taken care of. It's just the how.
But a lot of this stuff is changing. So here's what we see in this. You do a lot of stuff around how social media shapes the way we think, act, feel, believe, particularly for young girls, right? And we are not immune to any of this stuff. So some of the gentlemen folks say, well, I can make my own food. Well, I can order my own food. Well, I can just get somebody to clean the house. Well, I can just do my own wash. I can fill in. I can pay for sex. I can. What can you do for me? And I'm like, when did care become transactional?
I don't do transactional relationships even with my friends. So those type of brothers just wouldn't be attractive to me. They would get a swipe to the left anyway.
They'd be like, what's happening here?
I'd be like, well, then why are you here? Like, you obviously have a mechanical means of meeting all of your needs. So good luck with that beautiful life. Like, my thing is like, when I meet someone, I don't assume because they are male that they're going to want someone that cooks and does, I'm just me. I like to cook for my damn self. So if I have a man, we gonna eat because I'm already cooking for me, for my family, for my best girlfriends. When we go on vacation, I'm in the kitchen because I want to get up and make brunch when we in whatever island we on, and then we going to run the street. So it's like, I think when people get in relationships, they forget who they are in the other relationships.
Yeah.
I'm not compartmentalized. Like, you gonna get the same Dre at work, socially, and my man gets that and all of the additional benefits of the intimacy that you only have with your intimate partner. But there are things that I just like to do that for people who I love, that's just going to show up that way. So if you don't like those things, then teach me how to care for you.
Teach me how to care for you.
Because I have to teach you how to care for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's no,
But some folks don't want to learn, you know that, right? Which is how I think this whole idea of
learning deficit.
This is a learning deficit. How does this idea of the soft life really come to be? I've been going down.
For that coining that phrase.
And I've been going down the rabbit hole.
Sorry, they're not paying for this.
They're not paying for this, but you should
let that out.
But I feel like I started to notice about halfway through year one of the pandemic. It might have been a Nigerian auntie, but they didn't call it that, though. They called that living. Yeah, there was nothing about soft or hardness. They were like, matter of fact, this is, put in your deposit, sir, for there will be withdrawals, right? Yeah. And so right. I think it started to get really confusing to me because I was like, no, what is a life that is soft? And so it started small. Mm-hmm. Take care of yourself. Slow down. Mm-hmm. Everyday luxuries, which I already do. That's your care, your skincare, your hair care, which you're big on. It's all of the things. But then it started to slide into, don't pay for anything, don't do anything, don't lift a finger.
Yeah, so, I don't know that soft.
Wait. But then, there's always two sides of the coin, right? Then the gentleman folk and such and so forth started to go, oh, well, does that mean you are going to do what I tell you to do? Wait a minute. Then they were like, do you believe in being a submissive woman? Because I'm an alpha man. First of all, we have to announce who you are at the door, sir. You are not. But that's another topic. We're going to bring on some folks to talk about that.
Yeah.
So my question is, because you spend so much time talking with young women about just how to be and how to think about themselves, do you think that we are raising submissive daughters and independent sons?
I will tell you what I work around is I work around teaching young people, young girls and boys, that they have choice. And the big crux of the work I do is norm setting and norm shifting. Yeah. And the reality is our norms come from a variety of different places. And we sometimes don't realize we have choice in the matter. And so I just basically clear the glass a little bit to say on the other side of that's your choice. Guess what? You had it all along. Hello. So what I think we're raising young people to have an idea that they have options of who they want to be and then who they want to be with. And I think ultimately it's not that you want to raise these young people to be one way or the other. I want them to know that they can choose, and you can choose again and again and again. You don't have to stay one way because your development at this point made you choose this. But life is going to keep life in, and I say this to kids, but I say this to my grown ass friends. Because I think at some point we believe we don't have the means to choose again anymore. And what I never want to do is I never want to live a life where I do not have choice. Because whether that is a soft life, a life of gravel, a prickly life, an itchy life,
I don't want a gravelly life. That's the kind of hitting your feet bottom. We definitely don't want to ashy life.
I don't,
Lord.
But I think even like, just like when they used to raise us to get chosen.
Ooh,
right? That get chose.
The get chose.
We said it earlier. White toes get chose.
Yes.
But it's like, but that's something that's taught to women as if the only people that have a choice in the matter are the men. And I think we have to really remind ourselves, and in the work I do with young girls, is that oftentimes I'm helping them model up to their mothers and aunties that choice is never a non-option to us.
I learn that every day with my child, because the baby is always like, so you don't have to do that, right, Ma? Like, you could just, like, I was talking to her recently, because you have to talk real to these babies on the way to college about me deciding, like, I want, our mama has needs, and I would like to venture out and figure out how to solve for these needs. And she goes, but mommy, don't you have Tinder? And I was like, excuse? First of all. And secondly.
Stop looking at my phone.
And thirdly.
Yes.
And also, yes. She was like, can't you just like stir and forget it? Like, can't you just get it? Like, mix it up. Set it and forget it. Just mix it up real quick. And I thought that was
forever, just for Thursday.
Just for Thursday. She was very serious, and I wanted to know she's too grown and not grown enough.
And honestly, we are not, the young people today are not where we were 30 years ago. And I want everyone to understand, like, as much as you want to protect, we are not in the world where those protections are the same.
No.
And so choice is a bigger part of the matter, because when you are then presented with a world where there are fewer boundaries to access, that those options for choice become so much more abundant, that if you don't have the discerning insight and self-valuation to choose what reflects your own fullness and reflects your value, you're going to know you have choice, but you're going to choose something that's going to lead to your detriment.
That's right.
So it's like, it's not enough to teach them to choose. It's enough to teach them to make choices that are reflective of how much they value themselves.
So I think I want to focus on this choice and sort of like pull over to women and folk who are in our age group, right? And you said, you can still choose. And I thought to myself almost immediately, some of us don't know that there was ever a choice.
I would agree.
And so my curiosity is around this. Why do you think right now that we are so obsessed with the question around submission, or the debate, if you will, and the quest for a soft life? Why do you think it's triggering for some?
Well, I would say, like, I can only speak for myself, and I would say I can
broadly
colloquially speak for Black women, because I am one and I have so much community around it, is that you seek what has been felt fleeting to you. And if outside of relationships, Black women have had a very, Malcolm X said it a long time ago, but at the end of the day, we don't feel protected. We don't feel safe. It's not just in our romantic life. It's in the doctor's office. It's on the streets. It's when one of us goes missing. We feel like softness and care is escaping us at every turn. And so if seeking softness by your own means, which is, I'm going to drop those toxic friends, I'm going to leave that job that's killing me, I'm going to be single until I don't, you know what, I'll be single forever if it means me not bringing more strife to my life. When systemically
Tracy Ellis Ross said
I am in a constant state of trigger and anxiety, because there are so many things that are unresolved in our culture that make us feel unsafe. So it's like, if it is soft life versus submission, I don't think that's really the debate. I think it is, we want to finally have a soft place to land where we can truly resign and feel safe. Like one of the biggest things I ask myself when I'm dating is not, do I am attracted to him? Do I feel safe with him?
Yes.
Do I feel
oh my gosh, that is literally
I can emotionally resign with this man? Because at the end of the day, my mind is on a constant loop of all the shit I have to manage. So if I can let all of that go and resign emotionally and feel safe, not only physically, but emotionally with a person, that is a true gift. And that's my definition of soft life. I don't think it matters who's cooking what, who's paying for what. I think what it is we have to challenge each other to be emotionally available and protective of each other. And that's like the softness I think that we're seeking. We're just not articulating it, especially on social media.
Lord, because we are questing for things. I think the definition that has become, the interpretation of the definition that's become most prevalent is the seeking of things, the seekings of the absence to do things, to get things. And I think that there's a place for all of that, right? Like what it yearns for is like, I don't want to have to work as hard as I am. What's curious is the babies who have not worked yet. I'm very curious. They started at the end. They were like, there are no calluses, and I don't want there to ever be.
But
and on
the one hand, clear though.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say that, Maria.
But to be clear, I also don't want people to feel like they can't want things.
True.
Right?
True.
So it shouldn't be. We live in an abundant universe, right?
That's right.
And
That's right.
in a world where I want to believe that you are entitled to every single resource that gets you to your higher good, I don't want people to also feel like you can't be both soft and luxurious, right? Like, I want us to normalize like luxury and softness. And luxury can be luxuriating in a bath. It could be buying yourself whatever you want. But I don't want it to feel like, oh, because you also are desirous of things, because love languages, gifts is one.
That's me.
Right?
Everybody knows it.
And honoring
Everyone
that,
knows it.
like, like that is also a love language. Like, you can both want love, but also be given things.
That's right.
And there's nothing, and like, I'm glad that you raised that, because I think so many women, while we're talking about women of our particular age, we have learned how to value certain things by giving them to ourselves.
Yes.
So that's why you have like girls' trips are the norm, because guess what? We're taking ourselves to places where we are being enriched, where we feel, and we're surrounding ourselves with people who let us be authentically ourselves, our friends. And we are going to, yes, we're going to go and get the villa. And yes, we're going to get massages every day.
Every day.
Because that's our business. And we want to do that. And we deserve to do that. And so like celebrating that is not the antithesis of anything but living a full life. Because if you are going to, I believe if you're going to be a community of our culture that is known to work exceptionally hard, be academically on the top rungs of our society, achieving at rates that people can't keep up with, why can't we then take the fruits of that labor and live on those same the depths and heights of what that can do? And I think that's very like important for us to not trivialize that, because it is a manifestation of all the work and the strife that we're dealing with all of those systemic and cultural challenges that we can't really do away with.
And I agree with that. And I think the thing that is confusing to me sometimes is that I think that when we talk about it, we take a beat to kind of like break it down, define it first, get some like group agreement on what we mean by that. And then even if we feel differently down one avenue or another, the starting line was a starting line, and we all kind of agreed to that. The challenge I feel, particularly with gentlemen folk who I've come into community with who are interested in me and start out with submission, is that it automatically, I automatically experience it as not a release of all of the things we named that we're carrying alone, but a release of myself. Like, if you want me to give you those things, those experiences, that feeling of safety, fill in the blank, then you must be fill in the blank what I want you to be.
Yeah.
And I don't think my friends want me to be anybody other than myself.
And a man that wants you doesn't want you to be.
Yeah, I don't.
The man for you does not want you to be any single ounce of anything but yourself. And so maybe it's why are you attracting in someone that wants you to change or submit according to their belief about what you are supposed to be? Like, that's not your person.
That's not my person.
I don't know. Kiki say, I don't know that man.
Semantics. You know, like, what's coming up for me listening is this call for submission that actually is a request to dominate. Which is not the same thing.
Hello, my name is Craig, and I'd like to dominate.
They want to
Are you
dominate.
interested?
They want to conquer.
Hang it up.
It was, you know, before Silicon Valley went through its first little bust, before its implosion really started, people were talking about these, you know, entrepreneur tech bro types that were, you know, they just gotten things their whole life, whether they earned them or not, and now
or not.
Or not.
Whether they earned them or not, or not, right? And one of the things that they became interested in collecting or conquering were high achieving women partners that they could then trinket size, right? And say, well,
Bill.
You know, so, you know, I think there's a difference between, and of course that comes from, which, you know, my own positionality and understanding and experience with submission, but there's a clear distinction for me between what submission is and what dominion is, and what dominating is.
I like that.
We're
going to drop that definition for y'all so y'all can get it, because you might have to play this back. I received that.
Because that's exactly, because like I think you put it in such a beautiful way, is that it's a request to dominate, not an invitation to be submissive. And like we really have to get to the point where we are talking with each other with the same language. And so often I think we lose each other in who's going to win the debate, instead of being like, what do I really hear you saying?
That's right.
And active listening, for any of us who have worked to do that, really says like, let me make sure we're clear on what we're saying. And so I've told many a guy that, because I get the same request, is like, you know, once they read your rap sheet or see your Instagram or your LinkedIn or whatever, so like, you really need a man? Like, what do you think that I can't, like, I first of all, this is qualifying what you believe that you have to offer, first of all. And second of all, this is saying that why am I here on Hinge? If I do not,
I would not be on the Bumble. I did not want partnership friends. Hello.
I spent good time on my Hinge and my Bumble profiles. I really did.
And they don't look either way.
And so the question always is, it eludes me. I'm like, I really want to know what you're getting at, because if you're asking what I desire you to bring into my world, we can talk about that. But if you are trying to take a little soft kind of underhanded jab at me being actualized and that being a problem for you, then we don't got to do this.
But so can I like pull it back to, then you need to be in spaces to meet the man on the level that you actually want to be on, right? And so TD Jakes has in the book Extinct, right? He says that a giraffe cannot eat with a tortoise. That's right. Right? Because a giraffe would never be able to come down to the level of a tortoise, and so you need to eat at your level of vision. And I feel like the starting place, I'm like listening, I was like, so the men that I've met most recently, I haven't had these conversations in like at least 2 years. So like, what is the difference? And I'm like, because the men that I'm meeting are of a caliber that you would never feel the need to vocalize, hey, Suzette, I need you to submit. And so, like, I guess, like, it's, where are you meeting the people? And are these even the people that you actually want to meet? And how do you evolve to be in the spaces so you're actually in proximity and community with the kind of man that you would want to be partnered with anyway?
I love that. And I think one of the things, first of all, correct.
I received that.
And second of all,
when are we going to brunch?
Right. I was like, look, this rock with Suzette. She need to be, look,
Hinge is the
can you be mine?
Well, you know what? I will say
my Hinge.
Yeah,
it is the ghetto.
Yeah.
I'm only on Hinge because my intuitive told me you need to be demonstrative to the universe that you're open. Yeah. And so go on it, go through it, but you don't have to date from it. Because that's also not the pool of man I want.
Well, everyone has different experiences with different platforms. Now, granted, I'm no longer seeing brothers with profile pictures where they're in a bathtub filled with bubbles.
Oh my God. That's what they were doing down there.
Because they
in your part of the woods.
On Tinder, there was brothers. I'm like, my question is, who took the picture?
I'm always like, who took the picture?
I'm just praying it wasn't like your child or something.
A tripod.
Your daddy go in the bathroom when I say come in. I want you to take a good one like you did at the birthday party. No, like we're not doing this. But I feel you, and I've been told that by a lot of sisters is that it's really about environment, and it also is about what the energy and the kind of what you're calling into your space. And I think the more that you spend time with who you are and what you like to create, the friends you like to create, the family relationships and healing you want to create, and all of those, I think it just starts to spring clean a little bit your space. Definitely. So it's not even like, where do you go? Everywhere you go becomes a place that will draw to you what you desire. Like, I feel great about the type of energy I'm getting now, but it's not because I'm not using that energy as a valuation barometer. You know what I'm saying? I'm using that energy as, okay, this is where we are. It's almost like going into a mall and you don't know what's in the food court, but you hungry. But if you do not find something in that food court you're going to eat, guess what? You will find somewhere else. You will go to the parking lot and be like, we going to circle. We going to find. Because I ain't eating that. I'm not going to do the bourbon chicken again.
The bourbon chicken again.
But that
I know you're going to say it.
Girl, that used to be with the sample.
It hits. The sample always hits.
But
listen, but think about what you're saying, though, Jay.
But I mean, you got to figure out, like, you got to shop in. It's like knowing where that the environment is going to give you, but what it has. But you get to decide how big your territory is. You get to decide, like, back to choice. I'm going to choose a different place to find what feels right to me. Because I think, like, a big thing about what you shared is really just having your own compass and knowing yourself enough to know, like, you can say what you, I don't even, it's like, what was it, Peanuts, the show, where Muppet Babies or whatever the show,
Peanuts,
where I don't understand you because I am really not tuned into that kind of language. And I think that's just a healthy way of, as you grow and define for yourself what really your needs are.
And I love that. I think that it's a both and, right? Because I think that, to me, that is strategic. And I think that what you described is both strategic and tactical. So there's two things, because what you're describing is a work in process. And I think lots of us want to mix and stir. I said this earlier, right? We just want the Kool-Aid, because we want the Kool-Aid effect.
You want just that water.
You put red in the water with the sugars, okay? Not the simple syrup, y'all. The old-fashioned way. Syrup? People do, the new fancy stuff, and they be putting the mixologist and then they put the cherry. Listen, it's a whole thing. They charge a lot of money for it too. Yes. Purple Kool-Aid. Child, and put alcohol in it. And charge $16.
Ain't that Kool-Aid in the little things?
So we want. So a lot of us want to have like that instant thing. I have a lot of friends who are relationship coaches and dating coaches and so forth, and that is the thing that women, particularly professional women, come to them the most for, and that is, can you find me a person? And almost all of them are like, I could, but can you find yourself? Let's start there.
Yeah, but also, like, what I give you may not work.
Right, but also you got to get out the house. Like, we always make a joke about the UPS
but
guy.
But it's not only get out the house.
It's to wear.
It's to wear, but also you eat at your level of vision, right?
Come on, you eat at your level of vision.
You can go to any space, but if you're not clear on like what it is that you want, or like, you know what, being better about vetting space and be like, you know what, actually, this is not a community for me. Let me continue to evolve and like grow through those things. Like it's not going to change, right? So the starting place is still you, right? Within beginning to vet, like, okay, like, I used to go on the cigar scene. I'm like, cigar scene is not really my thing in Brooklyn. So like, what are the other things that I could be doing?
Right. And listen, honestly, I have been trying to figure that out for myself. And the reason is because I've spent the last, 14 of the last 17 years of my child's life as a solo mom. And so my life has been soccer fields and swimming pools and track fields.
And you're not living a Hallmark movie where the recently widowed.
Oh my God, can I have? I did have a meet cute though the other day, but it ain't.
But I will. I will say this: I don't think there's any formula for it. I think I think the real point comes down to not remembering that if you've made 5 bad choices and you are looking at you are ruining the day you were born and you were like, I'm never going to be with nobody. Those were still choices.
Yes.
And that still shows that you can choose something different.
Yeah.
And I think if that is choosing a different environment, choosing like detoxing your space, like sometimes it's not just the men you are seeking. Sometimes it is what spiritual food are you eating?
That's right.
What friendships are long past their expiration that you need to revisit? Are you sitting on the couch waiting for somebody to come through the TV and sit there and Netflix and chill with you? It ain't gonna happen. But I think ultimately, if you are going to change who you are, if that is not resting with your design, you're still not going to be happy in the end, whether you get chosen or not, because you're giving into someone's request.
Yep.
Ooh, as opposed
for dominion, soft demand for dominion, the double D's, demand for dominion.
Come on.
Ooh,
and
DFD.
you're not really allowing your energy to be your compass, because
that's so good. Your energy. So I wrote a post last night about energy because I was watching Ready to Love.
Oh, girl.
Lord, I love that show.
I didn't even know they had a new season.
They in Dallas now, child. It's a mess.
Lord,
the thing that kept coming up was our energy didn't match. If somebody doesn't have that energy, I don't have that energy. And I find that that I have not found outside of our women's circles for the gentleman friends to be able to describe what they mean by energy. Like that before, it used to be like vibes. And then before that, I feel like we use real words. And so now I feel like it's just devolved.
We use words that weren't easily hashtagable.
Correct. And so my question is, why do you feel like so many women, and particularly Black women, feel like the soft life isn't an option for them? Because I think that my white girlfriends, and particularly my South Asian girlfriends, etc., we don't have these conversations when we go out for drinks and for brunch.
You won't.
And we will never, but we don't.
Because they already have somebody.
Hello. And so why do you think that? Like, I mean, there was a point where I was just like,
I don't think, you know what? I think if there's anything in your life, relationship-wise or otherwise, career-wise or otherwise, that you don't think is a possibility for you, that is a self-valuation concern. That is nothing, because ultimately that is you thinking you are not worthy of something. It's like we are very, very... We get into this, when we start talking about relationships, we get all bajiggity and we look like we lost our brain. Like, if we were talking about jobs right now, we'd have 20 books about no, this is how you gonna get this bag, right?
Let me show you the outline. Look at this PDF that I have here in the ebook.
Like, we are not okay with thinking that a job or something that is achievement-based is out of our realm of possibility.
That's right.
But somehow, romantic love and partnership is that thing that makes us literally lose our mind. And I think what we have to remember is to think that something is not in your realm of possibility starts with you believing you are not worthy. Can't nobody out here, no coach, no girlfriend, no party, no nothing Hinge or nobody. Change that for you.
That's right.
So we have to do the work in really seeing where the cracks in our self-esteem and our confidence are, to know not even what we have to offer, because it's not always about the offer. Just know what you are. Everything isn't about if it's not going to be transactional, why are you worried about what you have to offer? Worry about who you are and what designs. What is your design?
It's another throw your shoe episode.
I'm like, we are dope. Like, I'm like, and honestly, what got me in a place where I date differently is I had to really like my own company. Yes. You can't tell somebody why something is good if you don't spend time with it. You're not going to refer somebody to a restaurant or an eyebrow lady if you ain't never tried it. You need to really spend time with yourself to find out what's your sauce. Because we can't sit up here and qualify ourselves based off of what someone's going to take, as opposed to saying, like, this is just what it is. And it's flowing abundantly, and you can, get an umbrella before you get rained on. Because
I love that.
You're going to get it or not. But I really think it all comes back down to knowing that we have to spend time like evaluating our own issues with our worthiness, and we have to remember that everything we do is a choice.
Everything. Your life is your choice. I tell that to my child all the time. Your life is your choice.
You can choose yourself into hell, or you can choose yourself out of it. But it's always going to come down to a choice.
Amen.
So as we're wrapping up, I'm really curious about sort of like an aside that I've been having in my mind.
I like your asides.
Do we expect men to submit?
Yeah.
I think we definitely, I think we expect them to, in that traditional sense of things, I think we expect them to submit to things. I think it's not a traditional way of thinking, but I think having an expectation period is an idea of submission. Oh. Like, my whole thing is,
having an
the audacity of expectations is one of the things we just really need a whole episode about. Yes, but I think that when you are in partnership, it's always you're going to give and you're going to get. And I think if only one party is submitting or, giving to the will of the other, that's
not the party I want to be
at. It's not set up to win. No. Like, I mean, I guess some people work that way, but
that's not the party I'm trying to go to. I'm not dressed for that occasion. When we talk about that, we're not going to that place.
I don't know that. Like when like Kiki, I always say, I don't know that man.
I don't know that too.
And so I think we expect for men to understand our desires. I use the word desire over expectation a lot because I believe that a desire is something you truly want to see manifested.
Yeah.
An expectation is almost like it has a little bit more audacity around it because it's like you don't know this person, so how can you expect anything of them? I desire this from you. And I desire you to understand why this is important to me.
That's right.
So when I communicate to my partner, I use that word specifically because a desire is something that truly you can illustrate and that someone will always know means something to you, as opposed to an expectation, which is just like either get with it or kick rocks.
So here we go. So we're going to flip it. So my friends, about the word submission, if you desire to lead and be in the front, then you have to invite me into a soft place to land.
Amen.
I don't want to have my 747 landing on a helipad. I
don't want a turbulent landing.
That's it. I don't. I want. Have you never not a donkey to market? What you been to the plane for? And the pilot don't even get on and apologize. He's be like, well, now we
be like, you here now?
Right. Good luck.
Thank you for riding. I'm kidding.
But seriously, right? Like, if you want to invite me into that place where you want to step forward. Because I think that's how some of our friends would describe it. They want to be in the front and make decisions. Are you making decisions for your own life? Oop, different episode.
Or they just want to be in the front.
They just want to be in the front. If you want to be in the front, and I'm going to say this analogy that I've always said. Even drug dealers have their track queens. Clydes, they robbing banks with their Bonnies. 67% of serial killers have wives or girlfriends.
Hey. Yeah. Somebody's got to, clean the shovel out.
Wait a minute. Listen, and my 600-pound life. Listen,
there's always
they all have people. So if the most nefarious of characters can have a woman that follows him, I'm gonna need you to have a plan to get in the front.
But peep this though. How many you take road trips?
Yeah.
All right. So for a long time, right, I didn't know how to drive, and I was always the girl in the passenger seat.
So that means you was the DJ.
I was the DJ. But there were some people I could ride with where I couldn't even DJ because I felt so comfortable. I would fall asleep. I just want you, if you want to drive, homie, put me to sleep.
Let me slumber.
Give me the comfort, the trust, the belief that you will drive me, keep me safe, keep me protected. And when this car stops, I am somewhere I'm supposed to be. And I wake up and be like, you ready to eat? I'll make you a plate.
That's it. Hey! Listen, y'all. We could talk about this stuff all night, as you can see with my boo here. But this has been a phenomenal episode. Thank you so much for sharing your insights. My peanut gallery is the best in the world. This has been another exciting episode of A Kish Goodnight. We'll be back with another episode soon, y'all. Bye.